Hi, I'm Megan, and this is my knitting, crochet, and yarn podcast, Properly Meg. It is a very lazy, comfy WIP Wednesday today for me. I'm off from work and hoping to get some good yarn time in. I have a lot of new yarn to go through today on the podcast, and some finished objects and some in progress objects. So I'm going to start with yarn. I've been shopping again. Unfortunately, part of it is excused because I'm shopping for other people. Part of it isn't excused because I went shopping for myself. The first thing I have is from Potions and Pearls, which I found on Etsy. I have this first set is a sock set in the color Fall Romance. It's got a cute little label, but it's 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon, and it's just beautiful colorway. So I added it to my cart because I was buying for a project to actually make someone this color love potion. This is going to be a sock hat. Yeah, I think that's what the pattern is called. I'll link it in the description. But it's going to be for my niece, and I'm going to do the brim in this bright pink color, and then the rest of the hat in the variegated. The last I knew, her favorite colors were pink and black. She is a preteen, tween, teenager. She's in that in-between stage, and so her likes change a good bit. But the other day I did show her this yarn, and she really liked it. She just didn't know it was going to be for her. So I have high hopes that she's going to enjoy the hat once it's made. I got some more Madeline Tosh because I was ordering some needles from Jimmy Bean's Wool, and I figured, hey, some of this, okay, one thing was on sale, one thing wasn't, but I couldn't resist this one colorway because it was just so pretty. It's West Texas Sunset. Here we go. And it's their Farm Twist yarn. So it's kind of a chunkier yarn that I usually buy from them. But it's really beautiful, and I had to have it. And then I think this is the one that was on sale, was their TML plus tweed. And it's a very subtle tweed, but it is a little tweedy. It's called Undergrowth. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these two skeins. I thought about holding them together because they match so prettily, and doing a pair of chunky tube socks for myself, like little slipper socks to wear around the house. I'm not sure though, but that's probably what they're going to become. I'll have to see what happens with that. And then finally, I got some yarn from Miss Babs. And this is the color Environmentalist. It was a wild iris, so they're not going to repeat this color. And so when I saw that was wild iris, I'm like, I have to get it. Because unfortunately, having that whole idea of it's not going to be a repeatable color kind of triggers the, oh, I've got to buy it part of my brain. But also, this is going to be the baby sweater that I'm going to start in, I want to say the pattern is Flax Light. I'll link it below down here too. But this is their Yummy 2-ply, their fingering weight yarn. 100% superwash merino. It's got, let's see how many yards does it say. I want to say 400 yards. Yeah, there it is on the label. The pattern called for like 395 yards. This was 400 yards per skein. But I'm actually going to swatch for this project because I don't want to end up with this huge baby sweater that's meant for a newborn. I don't normally swatch, and I'm a very loose knitter and crocheter. Things that I go to make end up being much bigger. And so in regards to this baby blanket, not a baby blanket, a baby sweater, I want it to fit right. So I'm very nervous. It's going to be my first sweater ever, But I figured if I start small, I've got 2 skeins, so that gives me wiggle room for mistakes. And I'm just going to go for it. Hopefully I will have it done. The goal is by the end of November. The baby that it's for is due in December. And I would like to get it done as soon as possible. I'm probably going to work up the swatch this week and maybe cast on too. We'll just have to see kind of how it goes. For finished objects, and speaking of things that turned out too big, I've got this baby hat. I had some extra yarn, imagine that, lying around, and I thought it was really pretty. I got this at Fiberfest, or we call it Fiberfest. It's the Southeastern Animal Fiber Festival. I can't remember the name of the company or the colorway or anything. I lost the tag a long time ago. But I figured the colors are pretty and green, and it would kind of match the sweater, but be a little bit different than just making a hat from the sweater yarn. But this was supposed to be for a newborn, and that's a big head for a newborn. Not that I have my own children, but I've held newborn babies before, and I don't think this is a newborn hat. It is the top knot hat. I'll link it again below, from Ravelry. Real cute. It was kind of a pain to do this part. Hold on, let me untie it. It's pretty long. This little top knot part, and then you just tie it down. But it took a while. It didn't take a while, but it was a little tedious. But it still turned out so cute. And eventually this baby can wear this hat. His head will eventually get that big. So that's my first finished object. The second one is my friend's shawl. And I won't undo it because it's huge. And it's so soft. It ended up turning out really well. I just need to wash it and kind of finish. I've got the ends woven in, but I left little bits of snags so that when it washes, I can see how it stretches out. And then I'll finish trimming that up and have it ready for her on Saturday when we hang out. And so I really hope she enjoys it. She's a much smaller girl than me, so I'm hoping it's a big fluffy shawl on her. So there's that. For in progress items, I'm going to start with what I have not touched, and that's just one project, but it's my timed socks, and I've kind of stalled out like I normally do on the second sock. I think I might have done a little bit of the heel flap. I might not have had that done last time I posted, and it's been a while since I've posted, but I haven't worked on it, I know, in probably a week. But I'm hoping to do some of this today. My next one is my discotheque socks. And I've got a good bit. I'm down to I think 20 rounds to the toe. And then I'll shape the toe. So I got a good bit done of this one. It's just been fun to work with. The color makes it fun to work with. And finally, my scrap yarn shawl, which I'm not using up all of the yarn that I'm using to make it. So it's going to be enough yarn left for maybe another shawl or maybe do a blanket. I'm just kind of intimidated by the idea of doing a blanket and fingering sock weight yarn. But I went ahead and took the yarn I used for the baby hat, which is this, and started incorporating it into the shawl. Let's see if I can pull it down enough where you can see. You can't really see. It's not very much in it yet. So there's not much to show. But I've worked a good bit on that. It's been kind of my meditation piece. We listen to a prayer podcast in the morning, me and my husband, and it's been the thing I just kind of knit while we're going through the podcast. So that's everything I have for this week. Plans going ahead or going forward. I want to, by the end of the month, so I'm halfway there. I've got half of the month left. I want to finish those 2 socks. And then July will be Christmas in July. I want to get started on the hat for my niece, and to get started on the tube / slipper socks for my friend, where I'm going to use these two colors combined, put together. I was actually ordering the needles for this project when I bought the Madeline Tosh yarn that I shouldn't have bought. But so yeah, finish up the socks, start Christmas projects. I don't know how many Christmas projects I'm actually going to do for people this year. I always have this grandiose idea of that I'm going to make everyone a hand knitted object, and it's just, I'm too slow of a knitter. I don't know if I can start. I feel like if I start now, and if I start in July, I can get the hat done, and I can get the baby sweater done. And the tube socks for my friend. That's 3 projects I feel like I should be able to get them done hopefully by the end of August. At August, I'll kind of reassess and see if there's any way I can maybe get some more stuff done. I might do a lot of tube socks for people. I know my sister-in-law really likes socks of all kinds. She's a sock collector. So I might do her a big fluffy pair of tube socks. I might even use that Madeline Tosh yarn for her instead of for me, which will make me sad, but sometimes you have to sacrifice for people. But that's it for this week, and thank you so much for watching.